Hey class, we are on our last chapter, EIGRP, Advanced Configuration and Troubleshooting. Okay, this is a network topology we're going to use to describe first on auto summarization in EIGRP. What is auto summarization? Okay, auto summarization helps to make your routing table smaller. Okay, for example, if you look at this case, R1, R1 is connected to three network 172.16.1, .2 and .3. Okay, so if you remember, 172 is actually a class B network. Okay, it's a class B network, that means the subnet mask is a /16. Okay, but we have created some more subnets, so we have subnetted this class B into a /24 network to create three separate networks, .1, .2 and .3. Okay, so what is auto summary? Auto summary will summarize these three routes into a single route. Okay, so you can summarize this three route into 172.16, and the subnet mask will change from /24 to /16. Okay, when does auto summarization happen? Auto summarization happen at the classful boundary. Okay, if you look at here, this part is the 172.16 network. Okay, so this is actually the 172.16.0.0/16. This is a classful boundary. This part is actually the 172.17.0.0/16. Okay, if you disregard the subnet mask, so you disregard /24 and /30 and use the classful subnet mask. So this is actually the classful boundary. So R1 realized that I'm going to send an update out from this 172.16/16 network to the 172.17/16 network. Okay, so this update is going to another network, okay, at the classful boundary. Okay, because of that, R1 will summarize all these /24 into a /16 network, okay, and then send the update out of this boundary to another router, which is R2. Okay, so R2 receive the update and it will only appear as a single entry rather than having three separate entries in the routing table. Okay, how does this help? Okay, this helps to R2 to route packet faster, to run faster. Imagine this is R2 routing table and there's many entries. Okay, so whenever R2 receive packets, okay, if they receive a lot of packets, okay, and they need to route the packets, okay, they got to look at the routing table. If your routing table is big, you got to look at many entries to decide how to route the packet, and it takes time. If you can reduce some of the entries into a single entry, your routing table now becomes smaller. Okay, with a smaller routing table, R2 can route faster. Okay, so auto summarization help the router to run faster, and it will happen at the classful boundary. Okay, so how do you enable or disable auto summary? Okay, auto summary is disabled by default from the Cisco iOS version 15.0 and 12.2 onwards. Okay, if you're using an older iOS, older than these two versions, is enabled by default. Okay, auto summarization does have its problem in EIGRP. That's why in the later version of the iOS, Cisco decided to disable it. Okay, and make sure that the administrator know what problem is going to cause, and the administrator make sure that this problem doesn't happen, and let the administrator enable it. Okay, how do you enable it? Okay, so to enable it, just go to the router EIGRP.AS number. Okay, let's say router EIGRP 100. The prompt will change, and then just write auto summary. So this command will enable it. To disable it, just do a no auto summary. It will disable the auto summarization in EIGRP if you know that it's going to cause you some problem in your network. How do you check whether auto summarization is enabled or disabled in your network? Okay, one of the commands you can do is show IP protocol. Okay, when you do a show IP protocol, you can see that is it enabled or disabled. You also show the network that have been summarized at the classful boundary. So in this case, R1 is summarizing these two networks, okay, at the classful boundary. Okay. Another way to check is to check the topology table. okay, if you do, okay, in R3, let's say we do a show IP EIGRP topology, all links. So remember, all links will show you all the routes, including the successor routes and the feasible successor routes. So in this case, okay, so this R3, okay, has this network, and it's and has been summarized to the /16. Okay, if you look at the topology table again, okay, this is a topology table. Okay, R3, okay, R3 is R3 is connected to the 192.168 network. So R2 is connected to the 172.16. R1 is also connected to the 172.16. When R2 and R1 send the routing update, it's going to send out to the classful boundary. Okay, and the classful boundary is here and here for R2 and R1. So R1 will summarize the route and send it to R3. It will summarize all the 172.16 route as 172.16.0.0/16. Similarly, the same update will be sent by R2. Okay, and it's also the 172.16.0.0/16. So R3 will receive two updates, one from R2 and one from R1. So they show that, okay, R3 received two updates, and because of that, okay, R3 decided to use, okay, the 192.168.10.5, okay, which is here. Okay, this will be the successor route. Okay, and the other one, the second entry, will be the feasible successor. Okay, the second entry will be the feasible successor, which is the 192.168.10.9. So R1 is a feasible successor. R1 is a successor, and R2 is a feasible successor for this network. Okay, in the R3 routing table. Okay. Another way, of course, to check if your auto summarization is working or not is to do a show IP route. Okay, when you do a show IP route, you can see that, okay, with it disabled, okay, you will see that the subnet mask used is a real subnet mask. Okay, if you have it enabled, you can see that the subnet mask used now is the classful one. Okay, now we are using the classful subnet mask. Okay, instead of the /24, we are now using the /16. Okay,